Before I teach a single thing on any course, I start with 3 questions. They're not magic, but they set the tone and they allow me to make sure that the few days we have together start off in the right direction. Depending on the size of the group, we might do this as a whole and popcorn around, passing from one to another. Or I might use a tool like Slido to be able to collect the results so that people aren't having to wait around if it's a particularly large group. What are the questions? Well, first, I'm going to ask names and roles. Not very challenging. What I'm trying to establish is that I'm a human teaching other humans, and I want to know who you are. I care about you being in this space. For larger organizations, it might be the first time that folks have met each other, and so it's good for everyone to hear each other's names. For smaller teams, they know each other, it's for my benefit, and I'll be scribbling down folks' names and roles so that I can drop them into examples as we go through the course. People love to hear their own name and to know that actually this is for them and it's not some generic content that I've just picked up and have landed in to deliver to them. Second, I'll ask about experience. What experience do you have with this technology or related technologies that we could know about for these days together? Sure, I will have found out about lots of this in advance. Every group's different, and that's why I start every course with a blank page when I'm planning. And there's a video linked up here that can tell you more about that. But even with that pre-work done, it's still really valuable to do this in person. This has saved my bacon more than once. There's once I showed up in London to deliver an advanced React course to a corporate client group. And I'd been assured that these were competent React developers and that they wanted to go advanced. And so I'd prepared this very advanced curriculum, going really deep into lots of the nuts and bolts and optimization and lots of things that were going to be super exciting. But when I asked this question, I found out that half the people in the room hadn't written a single line of React yet. So that could have been a huge derailing problem, especially if I didn't ask the question. But having asked the question, I could shift quite quickly on the fly. I was able then to shuffle things around a bit so that beginners felt supported and not overwhelmed, and experts also felt stretched. But asking this question allows me to do that calibration really quickly. Finally, I'll ask about what success looks like. If we get to the end of this 3, 4, 5 days, how do we know that we've achieved our goal, that it's gone well? And for some people that might be really small. I want to be able to read the code that I'm seeing in production. For others, it might be, I want to be able to optimize a microservice that's serving 1 million users per second. If expectations in the room are misaligned, it gives me an opportunity to level set, to be able to say, this is a beginner course. We're probably not going to be able to get to that level of production in these 3 days, but I'll give you pointers for how you can take your learning further. Or actually everyone wants to do that. How about we add another piece of teaching at the end of the course that allows us to be able to achieve that goal? That gives me a chance in a hotel room to write some new material and to make sure that people's expectations are met. Otherwise, I'm teaching into a void. I've planned this with someone in their company, but they've come with their own expectations. I want to make sure that everyone leaves feeling happy, feeling like it was a worthwhile use of their time. It sounds really simple, but these 3 questions change everything. I learn who's in the room, I get to calibrate the content, and we get to agree on what success looks like. That way, when the course wraps up, people leave feeling known and confident that they achieved what they came here to do. These are my 3 questions, but I'd love to know if there are any other questions you think I should be asking instead of or as well as these. If you're leading a workshop or a class soon, try one of these questions or all 3 and see how it changes the room, how it impacts what you're doing. That's all from me. Bye.